Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Cultural Coast. My name is Richard Houston, and I'm one of your licensed practitioners, and it's wonderful to be with you today. So the theme this year has been around rising higher and growing deeper, with the monthly theme being in living color. What a beautiful setting for that, huh? To be in this garden and just be with all of you with your vibrant energy. It's just amazing to start the day this way. So we have a guest speaker today, Reverend Linda, of which I found out in researching a little, we are kindred spirits from our past. We both studied with Edwene Gaines and our Master Prosperity teachers, and it was a life-changing experience. So I hope today, through this time together in community, through the message, through the workshop later, through connection, that somehow you have something that shifts your energy and that brings you to a deeper place today. We are blessed with your presence. And welcome to those online. We are so grateful for you to join us either now or later, and we hope you too have a changing experience in your life. So let's just take a moment and go within. For we know that God, Mother Nature, Earth, life, surrounds us and unfolds us at all times and is good in all persons, places, and situations. We are one with this living energy. We are one with the life force. We are one with nature itself. It guides us, protects us, enfolds us, and brings us to deeper places as we feel the connection with each other locally and globally. We are just blessed by this presence. We are blessed by each other. And we just know that today something beautiful will unfold from within. We are ready. We are open. We are willing. And we just let it be. And together we say, and so it is. And now to open us up, Elaine.
Good morning, everybody. Hi. So this is last week's newsletter from Reverend Teresa, and when I saw the title of today, first in living color is the month, do what you want to do. It's like, oh, I like to do what I want to do. So I'm going to open with a fairy song that contains a Holy Trinity. It contains yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And color. So I wanted to wear my butterfly wings. All right. So if you want to sing, this is called Infinitely Fairy. And most of you here know that I'm known as Fairy Elaine of the Silver Stream of Consciousness. So the words in the chorus, if you want to join in, are infinitely fairy, infinitely fairy. We're old and wise. There's no surprise, we're infinitely fairy. And, it's all energy, right? You can call it angels, fairies, you can call it Mother Nature. I like that. This goes along with Mother Nature. Because when I used to work with kids a lot as a fairy, I would teach them to become planet Earth helpers, right? Planet Earth helpers, where the angels are from the heavenly realms and the fairies are from the earth. So the chorus goes, infinitely fairy, we're infinitely fairy. We're old and wise, there's no surprise. We're infinitely fairy. We're infinitely fairy. Yesterday remembers you gaze into the embers and see the planet is hurt. They disrespect your mother with litter war and other harmful ways to hurt the earth. But it's a chance to see your worth as a helper on planet Earth. Here we go. Infinitely fairy. We're infinitely fairy. We're old and wise, there's no surprise. We're infinitely fairy. we're infinitely fairy. If just for today you live the fairy way, we'd have earth helpers all at work. You cry for revolution, the earth has a solution. Revolution is a new day's work. Another chance to know your birth as a helper on planet Earth. There we go. Infinitely fairy, we're infinitely fairy. We're old and wise, there's no surprise. We're infinitely fairy. We're infinitely fairy. Discovering tomorrow, the earth is ours to borrow. Leave it better than when you came. It's our duty and our honor, after all we walk upon her. Let the healing of the earth begin. Join forces with the fairy kin as a planet Earth helper again. Infinitely fairy, we're infinitely fairy. We're old and wise, there's no surprise. We're infinitely fairy. We're infinitely fairy. We're infinitely fairy. We're infinitely fairy. And so it is.
Thank you, Elaine, for reminding us. We're infinite. We're infinite. You can put anything behind that you want, right? Because we get to choose. So my name is Diana Wyatt, and here we are at Centers for Spiritual Living again. And it's my turn to read. And as Elaine just told us, it's all about living color this month. And there were so many things from which to choose, I couldn't decide. And so I did what I do, and I weaved some colors for you from my own heart. And then about 4:30 this morning, I realized my printer was on the blitz. And so I messaged a couple people that really helped me a lot in my life, and I thought maybe I'll at least have one. And Rev T and Jane Yoder both sent me a copy. So I went from the fear of lack and limitation just by choosing a different thought and possibility into having abundant copies to read to you today. So here we go. That was just a lesson in a lesson, right? The name of this is called When Colors Come Alive. What a beautiful palette of colors, this heart that beats as you, beats as me. When the shades of our soul are shared, it's really the grandest dare to be dared for all the world to see. To know the colors of all, we could never be left longing or even incomplete. When I witness the beauty of the colors of me, it is also to behold the reflection and divinity of thee. If one was all that could be, what color could I choose? Oh my, could you choose? Must I choose only one? Would the color feel the weight of loneliness or still know the power of each it holds within itself to be? Ah, where the palette of my soul awaits the creation of the paintbrush dipped into the color of my thoughts and the very passion of my emotions. Shall we paint? When I am aligned as the love I am, I open my heart and prisms stream like rivers from my hands. But some days aren't so grand, and it's more like the Play-Doh that's a weird color I don't understand because all the jars blended together in one futile lump. And I feel the color of sad as I wish things to go my way. The colors I think I wish I didn't know remind me it's okay when I'm a shade of gray. Am I allowed sometimes to be sad in a world where there are consequences of causes at hand to be had? The power is knowing this too. Lightheartedness is also mine, like yellows and oranges, divinely dancing sunflower fields with smiley faces, arms stretched wide for no reason other than to be. Or maybe yellow like the rays of sunshine lighting up the earth at daybreak. Or maybe the moonbeams at night while I play my drum to the rhythm of Mother Earth. Tomorrow I may be red, mad and fiery instead. Oh wait, maybe I'll be sensual, passionate, red. What if today is red like velvet instead? Soft, strong, squishy. Could I change my thought about what I think a color is? Would I be willing to change my thought about what I think a color is? Oh, be still my heart, the green of Mother Earth wafting into my every pore. Could there be a color which I could more adore? The color Earth chose for her carpeting, the trees chose for their crowns, and plants chose for their steves and limbs. Yeah, stems and leaves. And I choose them to help me ground. Oh, wait, look at the sky. There's a beautiful hue of blue that magnetizes my eyes. It attaches a hook in my heart and draws me to itself ever so nigh. A place where I am free, where I can dream and no one knows. In the clouds where I'm from, draw me closer, blue, closer still, a little closer. Right there, let me rest. Here is the power of purple, resting in the majesty of blanketed fields of lavender and prolific morning glories dangling from ancient trees. As each petal waits to sing a song of praise to earth in hymns we don't take time to hear. So I know it is not the color I see, but it's the magic, the love, the courage which filters each color through me. Each whimsical moment painted to perfection, smattered about with carefully chosen colors of reflection of me, held from the center of my soul. So paint, artist, paint, and never let a limit of your palette hold. How could you choose, even if you must, when life has fully gifted to us every color? Colors have come to live as us, to be alive through us, to remind us the gentle, original vibration that each color truly endows. We can have them all, at least all the colors we will allow. I love you. Thank you.
Here's Jay Martin, Jay Bird Martin, and today's his birthday. So I was going to do this song after the talk, but I'd like to do it now because Diana spoke so much about painting, and we're going to be painting this afternoon, some of us, and Reverend Linda, who's our speaker, is going to lead us in a workshop at 12:30, I think, right? And I even brought my lunch, which is good for me. So this is a song called The Painter, and I haven't sung it in decades. I used to sing it in the 80s, but I just thought this would be nice to go along with the colors and painting. And it was written by a man named Bruce Kunkel, who's a fantastic guitar maker in Nashville. He makes guitars with hearts for the sound. So The Painter. I met a man beneath the moon. He was practiced in the arts, and though his paintings never hung in the Louvre, he painted from the heart. So I asked him if he would paint the sun, He said the sun always made him blue. No, I only like to paint the night. I'd like to paint the night for you. Straight away he went to work, for he had no time to lose. And with every stroke a vision evoked, but no paints did he use. His brushes were so wet and full, his canvas stretched so tight, and his palette was so wonderful, with the colors of the night. And he painted me a mystery, he painted me a happy woman, and he painted me a gypsy girl, with the world at my command. All right, Jay. All too soon the paint had dried, for the night was nearly done, and I could see it in his eyes. He'd be gone before the sun. So I drew his portrait in the dawn, and I memorized each line. So if we should never meet again, I could see him in my mind. For he painted me a mystery, he painted me a happy woman, and he painted me a gypsy girl, with the world at my command. Let's hear some more, Jay. If you should see him beneath the moon, be sure that you treat him right, 'cause he'll slip by you all too soon. But how well he'll paint your night, and he'll paint for you a mystery, he'll paint you a happy woman, and he'll paint for you a gypsy girl, with the world at your command. And he painted me a mystery, he painted me a happy woman, and he painted me a gypsy girl, with the world at my command. I'm gonna leave him hanging. Okay, thank you, Jay. All right.
How much fun. Thank you so much, Elaine and Jay. Thank you, Diana. Wow, that was brilliant, beautiful. Thank you for once again touching our hearts, as you do. So we obviously have a guest speaker this morning. I'm very excited about this, not just because I have the day off, but but because I want you to meet Reverend Linda Jackson. Yeah, Reverend Linda Jackson. Linda is from Chicago. She is an ordained Science of Mind, Centers for Spiritual Living minister, and she's with Cityside, CSL Cityside in Chicago. But Linda and I met last year at the, well, actually, we met at Parliament. Yeah. We met when I went, remember when I went to the Parliament of World Religions in Chicago? Yeah, and so I got to hear Linda speak that Sunday that we were up there at her center. So then last year, though, we got to be roommates when we went to the Peace Building immersion, those 10 days in Ocala, or Gainesville. So very wonderful time together. And what I want to tell you about Linda is that this idea of creativity comes through everything she does. It's in how she interacts with her family, with her life in general. I mean, as I got to know her, things aren't black and white, and there aren't borders and boundaries that you can't, color outside of. And that's just really fun to be with people like that, isn't it? So I hope that you're planning on staying for the workshop this afternoon, but please help me welcome Linda now.
Forgetting something. There you go. All right. Oh, what a beautiful community you are. Thank you so much. Thank you, Teresa. And thank you all for just welcoming me here. As Teresa said, I'm Reverend Linda, and I use she, her pronouns. And I know that as part of this community, you know why I say that, but I'm going to remind you. Why does that matter? Because we shouldn't make assumptions about how people identify based on their appearances or based on anything else we think, right? By stating my pronouns, I let you know how I identify, but even more importantly, I create the space for you to let me know how you want me to know you and address you. So we're not assuming, right, anything about our pronouns or anything else for that matter, but this is especially important for our non-binary friends, right? I have the privilege of moving through the world as a white, heteronormative, cisgender person. So it's my responsibility to assist those who move through the world with less safety, who are marginalized or made invisible, by inviting them to be fully themselves. So as you've heard in celebration of Pride Month, we are being called to live authentically, out loud and in color, and I think I am preaching to the choir here. So we're not looking at just the black and white opposite ends of the spectrum. We are talking about embracing the full spectrum of life, the full spectrum of identities. And the suggested talk title for this week, as Elaine said, is Do What You Want to Do. And as I worked through this talk, it became clear to me that my version of it is more of be who you really are. And I don't want to skip over that point about making assumptions, whether it's pronouns or anything else. It's important for us in life to keep a beginner's mind, right? To always be curious. And to lean into the discomfort when we're uncomfortable with something. And that's where we have the opportunity to learn something new. Because when you think you already know, you have a closed mindset, and there's no room for growth. So just leaning in, being curious, being open, asking questions, right? Desmond Tutu said, the fundamental law of human beings is interdependence. A person is a person through other persons. I am me through you. I am me through you. And the Dalai Lama said, our human existence is so dependent on the help of others that our need for love lies at the very foundation of our existence. Therefore, we need a genuine sense of responsibility and a sincere concern for the welfare of others. I'm going to say that last bit again. A genuine sense of responsibility and a sincere concern for the welfare of others. So we're talking about interdependence, mutually supportive relationships, right? And interdependence is a fundamental law of nature. Even our cells, or in nature, we think of the microorganisms, right? They survive by mutual cooperation. There's an innate response to their interconnectedness so they can work together to thrive. You've heard, I'm sure, how trees support each other through their root systems, right? That network of interdependence, sharing water and nutrients and even sending warning signals when they feel under threat. And like the trees, our nervous systems interact with other people's nervous systems. So when we connect with someone, our nervous systems can co-regulate. So one person's calm or regulated state can help another feel more safe, more secure. It goes both ways. When somebody's nervous system is dysregulated, if we're not grounded and holding our space, we can become dysregulated with them. And I was very grateful to walk in here this morning. I've been traveling. I haven't been in my own home, been visiting some friends. And it was lovely to come into a space where people are doing their work to be grounded, to be centered, and to help me regulate. We are interconnected, as the Dalai Lama said. We need a genuine sense of responsibility and a sincere concern for the welfare of others. So when it comes to pronouns or any other identity difference, even if you don't fully understand it, you don't need to know why or understand how. We just begin by honoring and respecting. That's all that's necessary. Remembering our interconnectedness to work together to thrive. So we're moving out of the binary and into the full spectrum of life. And our LGBTQ plus friends have been great teachers, modeling and showing their pride, showing their full colors when it isn't easy and sometimes when it isn't even safe. What a great example of living in color in a world that often doesn't support who they authentically are. Life is not meant to be lived in grayscale, monotone, binary. We are being called to embrace the full spectrum. Yes, sometimes the gray matters, and I loved Diana's reading. Thank you for that. Sometimes, we need to be in the gray, and that's okay too. But we're being called to get clear on the full spectrum of our human experience, right? Our emotions, our identities, the social constructs, the cultures, the stories. This is the fabric of who we are as humans. It's not our spiritual truth. It's not the truth of who we are in our essence, in our infinite possibility, but it is the truth of who we are in our human experience, right? And we have to honor both. And embracing ourselves requires radical self-acceptance and usually some healing work. You've heard that Teilhard de Chardin saying we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So we're born into our family, into our neighborhood, into our culture, our ethnicity, our religion, and dare I even say into some political views. And those constructs become the lens or the filter for life, for how we see the world. And we're assigned our roles based on those constructs. So it takes courage to break free from this, to paint outside the lines. The courage to be yourself, to be who you really are. When we are not celebrated for our authentic expression, we have a tendency to shrink ourselves, right? To adapt to what we think is acceptable or expected of us, to those constructs, to try to fit in. And today I'm inviting you to look at and begin to heal any shame that you carry around any aspects of yourself, any of the ways that you have been reluctant to express authentically, to do what you want to do, to be who you really are. So this is how we get caught up. We're born into these constructs. Then somewhere in your life you have an experience or experiences. Sometimes there's trauma with that fight, flight, or freeze. Sometimes a defensiveness, disconnection, eliciting shame, guilt, however it showed up for you. You know, remember, trauma isn't about what happened. It's about what you made it mean and how you were able to deal with it, right? So we have these experiences, and we come to believe certain things about ourselves and or the world. As we call them in Science of Mind, our false beliefs or our limiting beliefs, right? But it's unconscious. We don't know those are our beliefs when we're taking them on typically. And then we develop these personality traits and behaviors as our coping strategies for how to navigate the world based on these things that we think are true. And in that process of developing those personality traits, which for me, I have a great, go get it done personality trait, it serves me well. But when it's running the show, it's not serving me, right? So we don't want to cross those out. We just want to become aware of them. Because what happens is those personality traits and coping behaviors cross out our authentic self. The parts that we thought were unacceptable or were taught were not acceptable. So now we're moving through life, through our experiences, using those behaviors with those beliefs, and those personality traits, and it works until it doesn't work anymore, right? You're seeing through the filter of those beliefs. You can only see what you believe you're going to see, and you keep seeing things that validate those beliefs and behaviors, and this is exactly what you're doing. You're on the loop. It can feel like Groundhog Day, right? It can be the same relationship issue with a different person. It can be the same problems at work, and you've gone to a different company, right? I'm having to find my place on here because I went off on a little tangent. At some point, we have to recognize we are the common denominator of our problems. Not to make ourselves wrong. There's a way out of the loop. Through spiritual study, as you know, this teaching saved my life. You learn that you have a choice. Maybe seeing a practitioner, taking dominion over your thoughts, treating, using affirmative prayer to bring forward a new consciousness that creates a new experience, getting our minds right. Perhaps a therapist or a good coach. God's in all of it, right? As we develop the self-awareness to notice how we're being and do the work to uncover the beliefs, we can change our lives. And we know that saying, change your thinking, change your life. And one of my teachers, the late Dr. Tom Sanner, said, it should have been transform the thinker. That's what we're talking about. Transforming into our full expression, living in color, being our full selves. And how blessed we are to have a community like this, where that is supported instead of having to shrink to fit in somewhere else. Some of us need to do some deeper work. Some of us have to really dive in to see what's driving the persona and the behaviors, to learn what were the unmet needs that supported or prompted those beliefs and behaviors in the first place. And I know in Science of Mind we say, keep your mind off of the condition, simply affirm the desired outcome. But in my experience, when there is trauma, we need a little bit more than that. Yes, absolutely, affirmative prayer is supportive and lifts us, and it does transform the thinker. But you can't bypass the shadow parts. We need to embrace them. We need to recognize they're there. We need to invite them in, to welcome them, instead of crossing them out, right? And then we can realize that we can meet those needs for ourselves, so we don't have a subconscious part of us that's out here frantic thinking, how am I going to get this met? How am I going to get this? And then we can make new choices, not from an intellectual understanding, but from a lived and embodied experience, right? Then we establish new beliefs, we develop new behaviors, and we create a new experience. Are you all with me? Okay. When we meet the needs of our authentic self, we can be our full expression, to bring our full selves to the world. Now, it takes courage to stand in your truth and to own who you are. At your essence, you are whole. And wholeness includes contrast, light, and shadow. Living in color means allowing the full spectrum of who you are to be present and visible. You're being called to be the full expression of the divine as only you can express it. The world is waiting for it. The world needs it, that interdependence. We're banking on you being your full expression so that we can be our full expression. When you step out of the social constructs, out of the hustle culture, as Sean Ginwright says, out of the do, and the related fight, flight, or freeze patterns, and we open to our authentic selves, we have the potential to embody a natural state of creativity, to be that full expression, to live in color. And this way of being, this is where we find synchronicity and flow and ease. This is where there is a sustainable path toward peace and fulfillment. And it ripples out. Our peace within ripples out to the peace in the world. Another little shameless plug for this afternoon's workshop. We will be painting for peace, right? Working on healing what stands in the way of our full expression. It's as much about the process as it is about the painting, so no excuses, those of you who say you don't know how to paint. That's not what it's about. Peace out here begins with peace in here. And we can't have peace within if we're in the discord of not being our authentic selves, not being our full expression. Ernest Holmes often stated, unity is expressed in multiplicity, meaning unity manifests in diverse forms. Oneness does not mean sameness. in our society, and specifically in the New Thought teaching, there is a tendency to whitewash, to simplify or suppress difference. You know, we hear folks say, I don't see color, thinking that they're free of bias when they say that. But this discounts the beauty of our cultural, racial, gender, neurodiverse expressions. We want to be seen in our full color, exactly as we are. Let us uplift every hue, every identity, every color. You know, we tend to compartmentalize ourselves, right? We have a version of ourselves at work, a version of ourselves with friends, a version of ourselves with family. And I remember about 100 years ago when I was driving home from college one weekend, I had this thought of like, I felt a little shift of like, oh, I have to like shift out of how I was with my friends at school into like how I was going to be with my parents. And I, in that moment, decided, no, I'm not going to do that. This is me. And you know how fortunate I was to have the safety to explore that. You know, I might have had to bounce off of my parents a little bit that weekend, but they allowed me to grow into who I was here to be. And not everyone feels that safety, right? It's our responsibility to support everyone to thrive. A few years ago, I committed to having my relationship with the divine, God, Spirit, Source, whatever words work for you. I committed to having my relationship with the divine be my primary relationship. It has to come before everything else. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, she's a minister, of course. But it wasn't that easy. There was something inside, a little persistent part that was afraid. And I could tell you lots of stories about it, like the child part of me who was made fun of for loving Sunday school, the part of me that knows if someone asks me what I do when I'm at a party, that if I tell them I'm a minister, the conversation might shut down. I mean, there are real things like that, but that wouldn't matter to someone who didn't have the little thing inside that I had inside. So it was my job to do the work to see what was it in me that was afraid. And I'm inviting us all to do our work with the parts that hold you back. And consider you're either choosing the divine, intentionally communing with the God of your being and choosing to be your full expression, or you're not. The big invitation is to be the unique, individual expression of the one that you are here to be, to bring your light to the world, not just for you, but for all of us. Only then can we truly love others unconditionally, when we love ourselves unconditionally. Like the roots of the trees, interdependent, nourishing ourselves and others, a healthy ecosystem. What is good for one is truly good for all. And the goal of all this work, this is Miguel Ruiz Jr., the goal of all this work is to love yourself exactly as you are and to live your life the way you want to live it. That is what will make you happy. And I hope you'll join me this afternoon. And I should have asked you, Teresa, do y'all pray out at the end of your talk or no? Do it. I'd do what you want to do. All right. Well, I would love to just ask you to turn within, whatever way is comfortable, center as you do. And you might consider what might have come up for you in this talk. The invitation for this week is to take into consciousness, I love who I am. Trusting my higher self to guide me in every step. We are all individual expressions of the divine, and how good it is to turn here within to remember there is only one thing happening. It is God. It is infinite. It is the multiplicity in the diversity. It is the creativity and the generosity. It is the love and the peace. And I am one with it, and each of us here is one with it. And I am so grateful to remember this and to come together with a group of people who are saying yes to this. And my affirmation for this week, I affirm each one of us is walking out of here and stepping into our week with a greater idea of who we are here to be, expressing the full expression of the divine as only each of us can express it, to be who we need to be in the world for that healthy ecosystem, to support one another to thrive, for each of us to thrive, for everyone to thrive, because what is good for one is good for all. It can be no other way. And I am grateful for this group of people who are saying yes, yes, yes to being their full expression. Can you say yes to being your full expression? I'm so grateful for the fulfillment of this prayer. I release it. I let it be so. I call it good. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Linda. I agree with everything you just said. And I like that she mentioned that we get to choose, and that's the part of us, that's the human part of us. We have free will. You've all heard that. Free will to choose. And if we choose to listen to the universal voice within, we'll probably make the right choices after that. This is called the universal voice. We are always at choice when we tune into the universal voice, but it takes discipline to listen into the universal voice. And there's a universal choice. It's the love in the universal voice, but it takes discipline to listen into the universe. It doesn't take discipline for everybody, just most of us. It's possible. The universal voice is still and small. The universal voice answers every call. This comes from within, below and above, as the sacred sounds of love. The universal voice brings us knowing. The universal voice keeps us growing. The universal voice sets us free to roam to the universal sound of Om. We're going to Om 3 times, please. Om. When we tune into the universal voice, but it takes discipline to listen into the universal voice. God is, I am. In this very sacred presence, I know all is well. I am so grateful. I release and let it all go. God is, I am. In this very sacred presence, I know all is well. I am so grateful. I release and let it all go. We are always at choice when we tune into the universal voice, but it takes discipline to listen into the universal voice. Let's try that together. It takes discipline to listen into the universal. One more time. It takes discipline to listen into the universal voice. And so it is. All right. Thank you. Yay.
Well, thank you, Elaine and Jay, and another beautiful song. So this is our time of gifts, tithing, and offerings. So if you'll just join with me and just take your gift, and if you do it electronically like me, just bring it to mine and put it near your heart. And just know that we're in a time of circulation here and opening up to the ever good that surrounds us and enfolds us. So, and for those online, there are messages right now of ways that you can also work with circulation in this moment. So if you'll just join with me then, we know that God is good all the time. Circulation is available right here, right now. We live in an abundant universe. It is available for us in any place, any situation. And we just open up both our hearts, our minds, and our wallets to this abundance. And we just let it be, and together we say, and so it is.
Okay.
Thank you, Richard. Let's sing together. I receive the gift of life and pass it on.
I receive the gift of love and pass it on.
I receive the gift of joy and pass it on.
I receive all good and pass it on.
I receive the
gift of life and pass it on.
I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on.
I receive all good and pass it on.
Wonderful. So for announcements then today, if you're a first-timer here, we welcome you. And we would like you to meet either with a greeter or with Reverend Diana. We have a gift for you to just say we're glad that you're here. And also, if you'd stop by and say hi to Reverend Teresa. She loves to meet all people, but especially new people, to just greet them and welcome them. If you're in need of assistance for parking now that we're still in this transition time while they're doing some work around here, please either see Teresa, Lisa, or Hector, and they're glad to help you out and assist with whatever your needs are. Just know that ongoing we have the Spiritual Life Circle on Wednesdays, the Friday night Heart, Mind, Spirit Recovery, and in our weekly newsletter, there's all this information and all the activities going on, of which someone would like to share some more.
I just want to highlight a few things. I'm obviously ready for the paint workshop. So, Satya, this is what from art therapy at Satya's house. So anyway, this afternoon, we've got that going on. Talk to me if you want to know if there's room in the group or whatever. We had 17 sign up. Next week, in celebration of Juneteenth, it's the 15th. Juneteenth falls on the 19th, but we're celebrating next week, and we have West Coast Black Theater troupe is going to be here. I know! I'm really excited about that. They are doing a Juneteenth celebration on the 22nd after our service, so maybe you guys get a taste of it next week, and then we can kind of all carpool over there. I'm excited about that. And then the week after that, we have Joyful Noise is our music, and I'm speaking, well, and next week too. And then the 29th, you remember Kim Ballou? Kim Ballou's coming into town, and she's bringing a special guest with her, and we're also honoring youth, because our tithe recipient this whole month, or this whole quarter, has been also youth. That's the local community that supports LGBTQ plus youth in both Sarasota and Manatee counties. And so they'll be here talking to us about what they've got going on, and Kim will be doing music, and that's going to be a really great celebration. And then, as of this morning, we just got booked. Monday night, the 30th, Kim's going to do a concert at Tallywood. So we'll have more information about that, but have all that planned. And then Lotus Heart is doing Curtan the next week, the first week in July. So we got some good stuff going on, so come back. And y'all look really fabulous in your colors this morning. I love all the brightness.
And just know that I'm also the practitioner of the day, so if you'd like prayer after service, please meet me in the corner, and we'll be glad to lift you up in spirit with whatever your needs are today. And a final song with Elaine and Jay. Let's welcome them back.
So we can do what we want to do and be who we truly are. And this song is called I Am. It's actually two songs. It's called I Am, and we ended our kirtan last night at Prana with it, and it was fun to do. So I'll sing it, and later on we'll all sing it together. I am the ocean, I am the sea, I know the greatest power lives within me. But your part, the choruses go like this. I am, 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 I am. Let's try it together. You know the words now. I am, 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 I am. I am the ocean, I am the sea, I know the greatest power lives within me. Come on up here. I am, 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 I am the lover, I am the loved, I know the greatest power within, below and above. Let me hear you. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. I am the mountains, I am the land, I I am the ocean, I am the sea. I am the ocean. I know the greatest power lives within me. I know the greatest power lives within me. I am the lover, I am the loved. I am the lover. I am the love. I know the greatest power within, below, and above. I know the greatest power within, below, and above. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. I am the mountains, I am the land. I am the mountains. I know the greatest power flows through my hands. I know the greatest power flows through my hands. I know the greatest power flows through my hands. Is that my command? I know the greatest power is at my command. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jay. Happy birthday to you. I can't hear you. It's okay.